In the last year or so, we've seen a big resurgence of interest in the pen brand Sheaffer. This is absolutely because the new owner of the brand has decided to go out of his way to make the brand relevant again in the modern fountain pen world. And how did he do that? Well, he started by re-releasing a pen, the Sheaffer Legacy. This is a new version, steel nib, but very, very much inspired by and taking massive cues from the original Sheaffer Legacy. So today I'm going to be showing this pen, give my thoughts, and hopefully providing you with the information to know whether this is a pen that you want to get. So please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button and hype this video. And also consider becoming a member of this channel, where for a small monthly fee, you'll get things like early access to my videos, as well as priority comments and a few other bits and pieces along the way. So let's now take a moment to look at the Sheaffer Legacy from 2025 and see if it's worth your time. So this is the packaging. This is the nice cardboard outer sleeve, very simple, with the Sheaffer logo on the front there. And inside that we get the lovely Sheaffer clamshell box, once again with the beautiful logo, established in 1913. And then we open that up and there's like branding on the inside. Mine also came with a little apple boom sticker because that's where I got it. A little pen sleeve, and then under there you get a couple of cartridges, use and care guide, all those kinds of bits and pieces, and a little polishing cloth. That's very nice. But we're not here today to look at the packaging, are we? We're here today to look at the pen. And here it is. This is the 2025 re-release of the Sheaffer Legacy. Now, there's already a couple of different versions of this, including things like the chevron version, which looks incredible. But this is the simple black lacquered version with chrome trim. So I'm not going to go into the details of the Sheaffer brand, like the history and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of other videos that cover that in a lot of detail. But what I wanted to do today was just give a tiny bit of background, just to to contextualize this pen. So as the box suggested, Sheaffer has been around since 1913, and over the years they've changed ownership. They've kind of like had peaks and valleys in terms of the quality of what they produced. And over the last couple of decades, they've kind of become one of those brands that has slipped away from the forefront of the fountain pen world until now. So a couple of years ago, the brand was acquired by a new owner who is intent on bringing the honor and glory back to the Sheaffer brand. And the Legacy model is the first big step in that. The Legacy was a pen model from the past that, was highly, highly regarded, a beautiful pen. And so using that as the launch, basically, of the new brand is a great move. It's a beautiful pen. And today we're going to talk about the parts and features of this pen. So starting at the top, little round flat end. The cap then swells to this sort of like, cylindrical body. The clip is nicely placed in there. It's very, very usable. It's got the traditional Sheaffer white dot, and I've had no problem with the clip. We've got a nice big metal center band there that says Sheaffer. That's it. I should say the pen body is metal. It's all I think it's a lacquered brass. The little step down onto the barrel, which continues long tapers, and we get the end there. It is a snap cap, and it is a delightful snap cap. I really, really enjoy that. We got a couple of chrome rings there, and then the beautiful Sheaffer inlaid nib there. And this is the new version is a steel nib. So the original, I think, Legacy had gold nib. We've got a steel nib. It keeps the cost down and makes it like available to people, which is good. There is the feed, and the M there for medium. The only branding on, only writing on the nibs is Sheaffer. But it's a beautiful nib and section. All that integrated, inlaid sort of material. It's a nice sort of width. There's no sort of, it's just tapered. There's no texture to it or anything like that, but it's very comfortable in the hand. The pen does post, and it posts quite okay. Like, I've had no problem with the posting of this pen. I know other reviewers have, but mine posts nice and securely. And I don't feel it backweights the pen because it's quite a, it's not a heavy pen, but it does have a bit of weight to it. The cap weight doesn't sort of put it off balance. It's very comfortable in either format. I tend to use the rings there as a little bit of grip. Any further down, I feel like I'm sort of pinching a bit, but down, if I hold it around there, it's definitely not like uncomfortable to hold in there. In fact, as I said, it adds just a little bit of grip and gives me a nice distance away from the page. It's a cartridge converter pen, and as you saw in the box, it was provided with a couple of cartridges and provided with a converter, and it's a nice sturdy converter. I like it a lot. And I should also quickly say this is a proprietary cartridge converter system from Sheaffer, so standard international won't work here. I like the fact that there's all this sort of metal around it. It makes it feel sturdy, and just a nice sort of robust feeling pen in the hand. Size comparison here with the standard Lamy Safari. You see it's roughly the same kind of length there as the Safari when it is capped. Uncapped, it's a little shorter than the Lamy Safari. And that continues when it is posted. It's a nice length when it's posted. It's not too long, but it's also very comfortable to write with when it is unposted. Specific dimensions of the 2025 Sheaffer Legacy are 139 millimeters when it is capped. It is 122 when it is uncapped. It's 155 when it's posted. So as I said, not too long, very comfortable. Around the section is 11 millimeters, and around the widest point of the cap is about 14 millimeters. Now, the pen weighs 43 grams, 27 in the body and 16 in the cap. So even the unposted weight at 27 grams is quite substantial. It feels good. That weight gives it a sort of a luxurious feeling, as does the quality, the beautiful quality of the lacquer work. But even when it's posted, it's a good feel in the hand. Okay, time for a writing sample with the Sheaffer Legacy from 2025. So this is the modern version, not the vintage version. I don't have a vintage version, so I can't compare them. But all I can say from the outset, this one, spectacular on the page. This has a steel medium nib, and it is also available in fine. And the ink in this is also by Sheaffer. It is Sheaffer Purple. I wanted a purple ink in this pen. And I saw that there was a Sheaffer Purple, so I got a little sample of it, and I have to say it's kind of delightful. It's not the darkest purple going around, but in this beautiful wet writing pen, as you can see, quite wet, it is actually, looking very, very dark indeed. Okay, it writes exceptionally smoothly, deliciously smoothly. From the moment I inked this pen up and put it on the page, I was just ridiculously impressed. It writes relatively wet, let's be honest, that's quite wet. Reverse writing, much finer, but very, very comfortable, and has good staying power, and is also not super dry. These inlaid nibs are not for flexing. Please do not flex these nibs. There's a little bit of bounce to it, but please, please, please do not push it. If you spring these nibs, if you do something to these nibs, you can't just swap in another, number 6 Yovo or something. Do not push these nibs. Fast writing. That was me lifting there, not the pen. There is not a single skip, hard start, or, error from this nib. I have written with this pen so much over the last few months. I've had this pen for a couple of months now. I've written with it so much. I have tried a bunch of different inks in it. Every ink I put in it writes spectacularly. Every time the pen hits the page, it writes spectacularly. There is no ink starvation. There is no hard starts. The pen does, when it's capped, does not dry out. I have left this pen for like a week or so at a time. No issue. This is an impressive pen. I cannot state that enough. I understand that a lot of people are a bit up in arms about whether this model, should even exist, given the fact that the original Sheaffer Legacy was such a remarkable pen. And I know there are a few differences aside from the fact that even this has got a steel nib and that had a gold nib. But all I can say is if you want a pen that feels sturdy and robust in your hand, that looks great, has a visually stunning nib, and performs like this, this is a great option. So talking business now, this is not an inexpensive pen. I bought this from a retailer I bought this from Appleboom Pennon, right? This cost the equivalent of $212 US. That's not inexpensive for a steel nib, but you are not getting a standard steel nib pen here. Yes, it is a cartridge converter, it is a lacquered brass, all those kinds of things. And, I know that the manufacturing of the pen is entirely different from the previous iterations of Sheaffer. But you are getting a pen that is unique, that is beautiful, and that writes spectacularly. So I think in terms of the value point of materials, etc., $210, $212 US is not inexpensive. But based on the quality of the pen you're getting, the feel of the pen you are getting, I think I'm more than happy having paid that much money for this pen. So what are my pros and cons? Okay, cons. Some people will find that price just too much. But I can tell you, if you get this pen in your hand and you write with it and you feel it, it won't take long for that disappointment of price to sort of dissipate. If the pen is for you, it'll be too thick for some people, it'll be the wrong weight, all that kind of stuff. I understand that. We're all very personal about these things. For some people, the Pilot Custom 823 doesn't fit their hand. For some people, the Pilot Custom Urushi is the perfect size. So we all want different things. But as it is not an inexpensive pen, some people are going to take some issue with that. The only other things I have to say, one is a warning and one is just a personal thing. On a personal level, it picked this sort of lacquered brass being so perfect, and the beautiful palladium coated trim, it does pick up fingerprints, it does pick up dust, and that's why they include the polishing cloth, the cleaning cloth there, because I'm constantly wiping this pen down. So it's just a personal thing. But the other thing is the warning, and which is what I said in the writing sample, do not push this nib. Do not try and flex it. Do not make it do what it is not designed to do. If you damage this nib, you can't just replace it. There will be nibmeisters out there who will be willing to work on it, but you can't just replace this nib. Just slide this one off and a new one on. It's not Lamy. It's not a Yovo. Respect the nib. But the pros, okay, I'm going to come back to the writing because I feel I could talk about the writing of this pen for hours without having to stop for a breath. But I find this pen to be perfectly weighted and balanced in every form. The unposted weight feels very nice and comfortable in the hand. And when I'm doing longer writing sessions, that's what I sort of tend to do with this pen. It's nice and comfortable, it's relaxed. I don't feel the weight in my fingers. When it's posted, I feel the weight a little bit more, but it feels substantial. It feels like it's got a bit more sort of gravitas or something in my hand. The substantial weight makes it feel really great. And for me, I've got a solid feeling of that posting there. It's on there. It's on there. So that's a win for this particular one. I think it's got a beautiful lacquered finish. The quality of that is beautiful. Matching the deep dark black with the nice chrome trim looks beautiful. It feels like classic Sheaffer to me. And that's, I think, the point. It's the new version of Sheaffer, or the new direction for Sheaffer is to, honor the past and, the legacy, if you pardon the pun, of the brand. I think the other versions of this pen, like the Chevron, look amazing. I think if this pen is anything to go by, the new Sheaffer, or the new direction of Sheaffer, looks very, very bright indeed. But back to the writing. This nib is smooth, it's wet, it's generous, it's not overly broad. With wet inks, it performs beautifully. With dry inks, it does the best it can, but it like everything looks great and feels great out of this nib. No hard starts, no ink starvation, no skipping, nothing. It's smooth, it's wet, it's reliable, it's consistent, and it is a joy to write with. And it's a great pen to have in your pocket because it's got a little bit of weight, feels nice, and it's not so garish that if you take this out at a meeting or something, people are going to ask, but if they know what they're looking at, it also is a bit of a conversation starter, so that's always fun. Is it going to be for everyone? No. Are the diehard Sheaffer, fans out there going to appreciate this new version of it? I think they should give it a try. It's a beautiful, beautiful pen to write with. So that's the new Sheaffer Legacy. I have to say, it is fantastic. I love writing with this, and I can definitely see myself adding a few of those other versions of this pen that are out now and coming to my collection. I think you'll be seeing this and many more Sheaffers on this channel in the coming future. So like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, and consider becoming a member of this channel. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.